The Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So I was sitting here going over scripture, putting together my new piece of furniture, this bed with imitation leather. And the Spirit suggested that since I figured out how to use my Bluetooth headphones, because Rode sold out and I can't use my Rode devices the way I should be able to use it kind of like a Bluetooth. So again, they owe me for the purchase price. Again, the manufacturer has to stand behind the product on you. If they sell out to the deep state, as they call it sometimes, then the product won't work for you. And you'll be stuck with something you can't really use. And they actually owe you. Like, it's an upside down world, and that's what was being spoken about. I can read it. I don't know if anybody else can see it. So they're actually, the Bible speaks about putting good for evil and evil for good, and then it goes through a litany of things, as examples. 100%. So what happens is, I call it you'll hear me call it the reversal. So what's happening is the people, again, the system is built on being respecter of persons, which means by the nature of your position, they're going to give you the credibility, even if it's outlandishly false. Okay, Larry. So again, that's part of putting good for evil, bad for good, good for bad. So again, it's happening, and it happens almost all the time. So there's really no way for you to get up once they put this into your life. And again, as I was saying so many times, and that's why I say again, to let you know this has been said hundreds and hundreds of times on my shows and other places that I've spoken. 100%. That, this is how it's happening. They're spycraft operating. If somebody that they hate gets up out of the muck and mire that they put them in, even for a second, then they begin spycraft operations. Now, when I say spycraft operations, CIA knows it's happening. They can stop it in a second. They won't. Why? Because the bigs there made their name through that. They're not really that good at what they do. They're part of criminal enterprises. Criminal enterprises every so often war each other. And that's what's happening over there in Russia and the Ukraine. So what we're actually seeing is that playing out, but I don't know if you can see it. There's an internal system, and you're supposed to get credit for your works. Every religion is based upon that. It's not happening. It's the reverse. You have to be part of the thing. The corrupt thing, again, that's the beast. So the beast took over the church, and the people that are getting the credit to at least appear sinless are actually the devils that found their way into the church and owned it. Again, Russell Moore speaks about people coming up and saying, where did you get those talking points? Because they're trying to say, they're Democratic Party talking points because they're talking about being nice to people and not judging people and all those type of things. Now, those people could be spycraft operators. Russell Moore is big enough and has enough money to withstand whatever happens. So again, his life's not going to fall all that far. But that's part of what's happening. The spycraft operators are constantly putting good for bad, bad for good, good for evil, evil for good, whatever words you want to use. And then again, it goes through a litany of different things. I'm trying to find my, you know what? I've got like 50 Allen wrenches, and I'm looking for the Allen wrench that came with the furniture. I probably need to go find my Allen wrench. I don't know what the distance is on this thing. Again, of course, I moved, and I think I know where one Allen wrench is, possibly. I'm trying to go through it in my mind. So you can't rise above where you are in life, and people like Trump know this. Now his thumbs up supposed to take you up, but it's all bullshit. Trump doesn't up anybody. He tells you he's upping you, and if you get something, then you're his boy or his girl, and he upped you, and you got your money or whatever it is. So he's actually taking the credit from God. He doesn't up. Trump does not up you. He's a phony. But he's part of the spycraft system. So the Russians will give you if you're nice to Trump, I guess. Or again, you can't be on the Russian hit list or the CIA hit list. There's an unofficial hit list where they don't let people have anything, and they try to sexualize them and pedophilize them. I mean, I only go through parts of it because parts of it are more important than other parts. But again, they've taken me through operations in an attempt to make me a bank robber. That's why they don't give you money, because it's easier for that type of operation. So a lot of these people that rob banks were put into that life. And the psychological operation, the witchcraft around them, is that they have to become a bank robber. So it's not always pedophile. But then again, if you look, you'll find some people that are involved in one crime are also involved in crimes such as pedophilia. So again, they might be a drug dealer, but yet they had some pedophilia or some rape or something else in their lives. Again, they're creating those people. There are people that do it not based upon spycraft, but I'll tell you, the people that are spycrafting it are the metaphysic of that particular crime. That crime does not exist without them on earth. Again, they're channeling Satan to cause crime. Now, let's go back to the garden. There was two things that I can now say about the garden. First, they were naked in the garden. So if the Christians bring up the garden to you, you say to them, well, get naked, Christian, because they were naked in the garden. And if you're talking about Adam and Eve, and again, I'm not telling you to be gay or not be gay. I'm just helping you all survive peacefully and, again, do things that God would want you to do with your time instead of quote unquote politics. So the first off is they were naked in the garden. So I don't know if Adam and Eve and Adam and Steve have any real validity there, because they were naked. The second part is they weren't heterosexual. They weren't gay. They weren't straight. They were just pretty much, I guess, what they call asexual, because God did the creating and the procreating. I mean, it's real. This is real time, real revelation coming to earth. Being wasted because a bunch of government agents work with a bunch of private sector millionaires and billionaires to kill people out in government, and then never let them live their life. I mean, based upon what most preachers know now, Russell Moore, he's getting somewhere. Again, he's just beginning to learn, and he's beginning to understand, and he's bucking a system that he may have been afraid of it years ago. 100%. But again, it's one way. Again, Nicodemus. He's like Nicodemus. He's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So again, I know the Catholic Church is laughing. I can hear them. I don't know how they heard me. Oh my God. The bigs. The Vatican. Somebody at the Vatican's laughing. Could be a Swiss guard or whatever. I don't know. Why isn't this working? because it's cheap furniture, man. You don't have money to buy good furniture, so it's easy for you. Again, the Bible says the workman's worth their wages, right? That's not true on this planet any longer. But what I can tell you is that my wages are billionaire. So again, God got you. Because they want to say, well, what's all this thing with money? And well, I could have lived a poor man's life, but you have to pay the workman what his wages are worth. If you did that, I'd be doing fine. So again, you reneged all of you. So do I find Russell? I find Russell Moore going against the grain of the church, and he said it in a way to help. Uh, and again, he might be deep state tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, if people again, when I say deep state, I'm kind of candy coating it a little bit. It's the beast. So anybody that accepted the deep state or the old boy network, you're the beast, all of you. Thank you much. So again, as far as being heterosexual and not being heterosexual, or not being gay or being gay, I believe that falls under what Paul said. And the fact is, just wait and see what happens. Let God judge it. Well, essentially, what you're doing by being a respecter of persons, you begin to decide who's worthy of Christ and who's not worthy. But it tells you not to do that. And again, you can look in the Bible and see people do that. But again, the Bible does not do a great job of explaining the nexus between certain scriptural ideas. Because essentially they make an error and you see the error and you repeat the error. But yet they corrected, Paul or whoever corrected the error, and you won't correct the error. You'll just go, well, Paul said this and Deuteronomy said that. Again, the reason I speak about gay people, because I'm trying to depower the sting of what they're doing in spycraft and witchcraft circles to make people gay. It's a game. You can be made gay. I don't care what you say. If you were born that way, then that's the way you were born. Again, if you go against what I'm saying, you're actually doing what you're saying people shouldn't do. You're not listening to what I'm saying and accepting my truth. That nobody's gay and nobody's not gay to begin with. And there are people on this planet that are using gay as a game to put dung on their neighbor. And these are people that say you shouldn't be gay. Would Paul accept gay people? Yes. That was Paul, actually. Get through it. Because it's what I say it is. You don't understand the truth of it? Paul even said what? What did Paul say? That he doesn't know everything, but in one day he will know. And when he knows that, what happens? He sides with the truth. Am I correct? Boy, this is some rough stuff here. You never know on Amazon whether the project that they taught, where they go, I tried to put together that and da 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 da. You never know, because like half the people say it's like reviews have lost their truth. So you never know what you're going to get when you get an Amazon Chinese. And I mean, I credit the Chinese for all this great stuff that I could afford. I mean, they do great stuff. And the Bluetooth thing, as far as Bluetooth and doing the podcast, I asked for that years ago. Now, am I the only person? I don't know, but I know I did. I was like so bummed. I'm like, I can't use the podcast. I think the last time I tried was in Santa Fe, or not Santa Fe, Oklahoma City, which isn't that long ago, I guess. Kind of put down. I said, we can't even use a Bluetooth to podcast decently. Well, it took several entities to do it. Well, I'm on an organized crime hit list. That's how the deep state attacks me. Okay? That's how it works, period. And that includes whatever organized crime. They divvied up the world. Now, one organized crime says no, the other one says no. I can't figure out why one screw won't go together. Actually, maybe if I know what's doing it. Now I have to loosen up all the other ones. Like, yeah, try this one more time. Now is that crooked? That's crooked. I'm gonna try to loosen these a little bit more. No, they're loose. Oh, that one's tight. So again, you can't hear a lot of what I'm hearing. It's just kind of happening around you. So there's no way for you to get up because if you work hard, again, no, I was totally insulted by Trump's hardworking Americans. It's kind of a diss from Satan because it has nothing to do with working hard. Because you can work hard all day long and not get anywhere, and then Trump will call you a sucker because I just heard him. Because that's how he deals with it. He calls him a name. Well, everything Trump ever said is probably still in the head. Well, Trump's not really Republican. He's Russian. What party is that? That's true. Trump is the Manchurian candidate. And it's like it's so like Nazi-ish. I mean, even like Simon Tabo, whatever his name is, he's like, look at all these people. You can tell that 8 million or 80 million whatever voted for Trump. It's like a fucking 100 people running around in pickup trucks. Big deal. I mean, how do you equate that? I mean, they're just nuts. We're witnessing the Nazi takeover of the United States. Now, the Nazi spirit learned, again, every once in a while they rear their ugly head and show how they hate Jews, but learn to accept the Jews first. Again, it's the Jew. When I woke up, God prepared me to explain this. And I learned about the Juden. I call them it's Juden raid, I think, but I call them Juden rat because in American, English, they're Juden rats. They sold out. The rich people sold out. That's what went wrong. Now, not all Jews are rich. All of you say again, the big story that all the Jews are rich, right? I mean, you know Netanyahu and all those people, they sold out, man. That's how they have money. They go, well, yeah, we have money. Well, but we go to synagogue, same thing in every religion. The big excuse is that what? We should be respecters of persons and realize that they have all the big positions and they go to synagogue and church, right? But the Bible tells you not to. Again, the Torah tells you not to. In fact, it has some choice words to say about those people. I am just so tickled that this is actually working. I'm a little high on volume, and I don't know how to get that down. The mic volume, I don't think is adjustable on an Android. Right? But I am just tickled that I'm in a Chrome browser, I'm on a mobile, and I'm broadcasting Bluetooth. This is just phenomenal. Now, they may have hacked me before, I don't know, but it just seemed like it would never work. I couldn't get Bluetooth to come up in anything. I think some Romanians have something to do with it. Actually, there it is. Now they hear me because I know people hear me. Like I couldn't figure it out at first. I'm like, wait, there's what I just said like 6 months ago. Like, what's that? So I couldn't figure out what was going on in the world. Right? They hear me. And in a way, I'm their boss. Again, I'm not a boss. I don't believe in bosses, I believe in friends. So again, that helps you understand who may have heard me in history. So again, one of the ideas is, we're created equal, but doesn't guarantee equal outcome. But again, there is acceptable outcome. So again, it does mean acceptable outcome. And that acceptable outcome isn't your decision, it's God's decision. So again, keep playing the games and God will keep playing bigger games. Thank you, Lynch. That makes sense. So again, what I'm doing is breaking through their illusions and curses, because most people can't think of what I just said. No, I have. Yeah, it's gonna be annoying with me saying again and again they curse it, but I have to say that it's not funny. I have to say that metaphysically because I am who I am, and they just won't do what's being said. And I'm not God, but I'm God's friend. So, well, they have a rule. They have a hierarchy. There is a reality to the hierarchy, and when it hits, everything's going to tank for them. Netanyahu's a nobody, all of you. He's not real. He's part of the Earth system. I guess not even Earth, this planet system. But most people that are nobodies that get somewhere being corrupt, they agree to the Earth system. And of course, there's Satan going, yeah, you would agree to it too if we gave you money. Well, no, you didn't give me money because I wouldn't agree to it. So again, I didn't sell out the poor people. You all did. Even some of the poor people sold out the poor people. They love doing that. That's one of their favorite things to do to me, is to hire poor people to do me, or to do Spanish people to do me because I help them in life, or black people, minority people of color. People of color that are evil will sell out, even if they're BLM, central. Well, their goal is for me to hate black people, or Latino people, whatever it is. I'm just like God. I hate evil, and that's true evil. Again, scriptural evil based upon the reality of the metaphysic, not some bullshit church thing. It's bullshit, man. Face it, church became bullshit. It became. I've been saying this for years. The church became what Jesus came to get rid of. Well, if the church didn't have a way, we'd have less gay people. That would be the metaphysic of that. So is it bad or good? Am I saying something bad about gay people? No, I'm saying something about the church. It tells you not to be gay while it causes you to be gay. And again, you could be born that way and still be part of that thing. Remember, I told you in the garden, the original creation, nobody was heterosexual and nobody was homosexual. And they were all naked. So again, the truth of that one's pretty big. So they're manipulating. So how does it happen? The will creates heterosexual, and the will creates homosexual. So where does that will come from? Like I told you, I don't think the snake did anything. I think it was the future. This planet. In other words, this planet went through space and time, projected a voice into the snake, and the snake took down Adam and Eve. Because why? Again, it's a paradox. It's bizarre, but it's reality. So we would be enslaved here. You're essentially enslaved here. And they think it's funny to deny you the truth. Thank you, bro. So you're not gay and they're not heterosexual. That's what Jesus said. But he's not saying don't have sex. Again, the Bible tells you to get married. Okay, the Bible obviously doesn't tell you to be gay, but it says enough to say if they are gay, let them get married. And don't judge it. Give it time and let God, provide that answer someday. Well, it's what I said. It's just, in other words, the Bible does say you're not responsible for things that other people do. 100%. To you. And being gay is part of having yourself become that sexuality. So again, The question is it, if somebody is heterosexual and made heterosexual, is that also a sin? That's real. That's one of, again, when you figure one truth, then another truth it begins to open, and there's questions into that. So where are we with that then? We are where now they want to give it up, and all is forgiven based upon whatever is happening. But again, the thing that can't be forgiven is the people that are moving their wills to change other people. And God has to judge it. But if you're willing your daughter using will, and you're willing your daughter using magic, that your daughter goes to a certain school and has a certain job and a certain boyfriend, you can theoretically have thrown off hundreds of thousands of people's lives throughout history to have that happen. So again, you have to answer to God for that. I'm just here to explain it. I'm doing my job. I'm in the scriptures. I didn't know anything like that could ever exist. God wakes me up, said, "There you are. I had Jesus come down here, touch you. Now you're awake." They were lying to me. They were lying to God, is what God said. Well, theoretically, based upon my truth, I should have been awakened at 3 years old at least, if not at birth. So again, that's what God believed the planet was. Again, there's a blindness here. And again, I'm saying again because there's a worse punishment for you if I say again. I mean, you should be punished off. You should also be stricken from the existence. And again, that place is called hell. This is the rain. Let it rain. REIGN, the other rain. So you didn't let it rain, RAIN. So now it's REIGN. All right. So Jesus says that you're not even going to be sexual, but God said to me, I had plans for people's sexuality, and those plans are going to happen. And it's not weird if you're gay and you become straight when you like when you die. I've already went through so many different things. That's how I know what gay is. Not that I was gay with anybody. I went through all of the mind and saw it. Again, if you go to the Mormon video where Moses saw the entire world, I've seen stuff like that before. And then at a certain point, God said, "Okay, now we're going to look at gay." And we looked at the entire world of gay. And it turns out the same old people are responsible. Well, there's one, and it's strange that it's there. Again, I'm in with the Mormons somehow. But their video series, Bible video series, is all really from the Bible. But one video in their Bible video series, and they may have heard this and did it, is about Moses and his experience with Satan. But yet, I've had that experience from one end to the other when I woke up. And I think it would be safe to say, to a certain degree, whether you believe all or part of Joseph Smith, he had a similar experience as Moses. So again, Moses is my buddy. Again, remember I'm Jewish. And I'm also an angel. So Moses and I are good. Again, I don't know when Moses and I meet. I mean, it's like, did his spirit come to me the day after he died? 20 years after he died? 100 years after he died? Or 1,000,000 years after he died? Or 1,000 years after he died? Well, he's partial to the Palestinians because he knows the truth about what the power sphere in Israel is doing to Palestinians to make them, they're possessing their minds. Palestinians are being possessed by evil Jews, but it's not every Jew, because some of the Jews are trying to fight that. And actually, that's what we were fighting around 2007. And so when we were moving that all forward, if I got on it, I could fix it, but God It tells me not to. We can get back to where we were with the peace treaty. All right, that part's done. Boy, I'm glad I told you all about it. Thank you for the help. Let me make sure they're tight enough, though. That's a nice bed. I can't complain. What I don't like though is the frame is just so tedious to build. Certain parts of it, I would almost rather get like a metal pre you just unfold it or something like that, or just a couple bolts here and a couple bolts there, and then put this on there because the headboard. You're I think paid for the whole bed like $150 or something like that. I think I'd have to look, but the headboard is PU leather. It's great. Yeah, it's very, it's very thick. It's not, some of them are real thin. They look like kiddie beds. Right. And it has brass tone nail heads, very sizable nail heads around the edge. I mean, it's just phenomenal for the price. I mean, a headboard like that probably would cost you $150. Right. I couldn't find it anywhere else. I found one, but it was like silver nail heads and it just didn't have the same feel. You can find some great stuff in the cheap stuff. It just can be a pain to put together. So the key is you can't get forward. You're enslaved to a system that's corrupt. They're not going to let you up unless you're evil. And again, some people in their mind will do stuff and they look like Mother Teresa, but they're not really Mother Teresa. They're actually making you the opposite of who they say you should be, or and the opposite of what they appear to be. Again, just only appearance, because inside they're devils. Now, Mother Teresa lets me use her as an example. I spoke to her long and in detail when I was in Naples, Florida, spending some time drinking some wine out by the water. I wasn't allowed to have a life. I got paid good money for it, but they'll burn in hell with it. Six holes on each part of H should be positioned. Oh, H came up again. Anybody see an H? I've seen H all day. Somebody's moving heroin, probably fentanyl also. Oh, the F is fentanyl. All right, look for the F, the H and the F. Oh, that's right in front of me, actually. It's on. Actually, get the instructions. Buy this bed. Get the instructions, or get the instructions and read them. See if you see anything. Because instruction number 6 is H and F, and I didn't realize it was. It just clicked, and then I looked down, and there it was. All right. So what are those? Okay, that's F. That's H. Okay, what's an H? Is this an H? How many pieces of H? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not those. I just have this feeling like something's going to be missing. I feel bad for Chinese people sometimes because, they're just so nervous of getting in trouble with Amazon and eBay. Right. I mean, the old days you have to stand your ground, and now it's just like they're ready to diss them in a second. And sometimes the results are not what I was looking for. Right. Okay, I found. What did I find? Which letter? H. I found H. So again, let's go through that. Let's go through traffic stops, drug seizures. Don't be a person that wills it up, because then you're responsible for all of it. One of the deep state, and again, if you truly believe that you're not willing it up, that you're only ensnaring guilty people, God might, put a mitigating factor in. But what you're doing is, if you will to arrest people, you actually cause people to offend. So you have to actually just heal the crime. And again, you have to be prepared, like I said, for 20 years to be the Maytag police repairman police officer where there's no work. So this is one of the quandaries of the world that we live in, that people are willing up crime based upon willing an arrest. Because you get like made fun of if you don't arrest people. So like the officers do not allow total cessation of crime based upon the idiocy they've all become. Wait a minute, why is that there? It's not making sense. Don't tell me I did something wrong here. I can't. Well, again, you gotta make decisions. A lot of decisions to be made. All right, so this goes there. Put one, oh, I see. Now it makes sense. Well, that's why my ministry was supposed to be on. Thank you, Larry. That way I could explain that to everybody 20 years ago. So he wouldn't be here. It would be a much better world. Well, one of the things, they were angry because I was healing the people they were cursing to crime. And there was a racial element. So they're driving around like I didn't know they were doing that. At first, all I thought I was healing people that somehow had this curse of crime. Then I found out that police officers were actually doing it. Oh my God. And I actually was one of them that they were cursing. And they'll go, oh, see, he's only taking care of himself. There they are, longer bullets. Yes, this is so fabulous that I'm doing this. Actually, once upon a time, I loved putting together furniture and stuff like that. But, oy vey! I would be still on my bicycle riding like 20, 30 miles a day on a fat tire bicycle if they had me. And they knew it. That was part of their thing. They like will poor health every day. Well, I think that's how you are. All right, let me see. Is there washers on this bad boy? All right, am I still broadcasting? Where's the phone? Hello. Okay, I'm still here. All right, I'm gonna cut it here for a second. Stay peaceful. Praise God in all to do. Praise